Overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Yes.
You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
Post-game win songs in Major League Baseball. Do you know what I'm saying?
Post-game win song.
For example, you have teams like the Cubs, the Red Sox, maybe is it the Mets or the Yankees? I forget which one. New York.
So like Tessie?
What the hell is Tessie?
The Red Sox.
Tessie? I
They
thought
also do
Sweet Caroline's in the 7th inning. That's right.
Okay.
Or the 8th inning. Yeah. Well, either way, like those songs, those in-game like songs that are synonymous with those clubs, because I think even the Orioles,
Specifically in baseball?
whatever.
Well, you said baseball. I'm thinking like Fly, Eagles, Fly.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say properly rated.
Yeah.
If it doesn't feel forced, properly rated.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fly Eagles, Fly, for example, is a good one. It's just I don't even know the origins of that.
Yeah.
But it's for the team. That's cool. Like if the Saints were to do halftime or like even Choppa style now is overrated. That first year was cool. Now that's overrated. So if it's not,
Get that shit out of here.
if it's not forced, I'm with you. I want to get rid of it for sure. If it's not forced, properly rated.
I feel you. I probably could have done a better job asking that question. It was difficult even researching. Like when I was putting it in Google, I was like, what the hell do you even call this stuff? Like they're not all fight songs.
Yeah.
Because like Fly Eagles Fly is like a fight song, right? But then like Sweet Caroline, for example, with Boston is just like, it's just a song. Or like Go Cubs Go is kind of like a fight song, right? But it's like, I don't know, like all of them are different. But I'm actually gonna go the opposite end here. I'm gonna say underrated because in the moments when those songs are cool, it's like euphoria, right? Like for example, I was at a Cubs game and they were getting their butt kicked and they come back and they win on like the craziest comeback. Like Javi Baez single-handedly leads them to victory. And the crowd's going crazy. Game ends, they play Go Cubs Go. Everyone in the stadium is standing and singing. And like for me, someone who's never been there, it was the coolest experience I've ever had in a Major League Baseball stadium. It was phenomenal. So I'm gonna go underrated.
Yeah, you threw me off a little bit just by saying like specifically baseball.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know any. Like I know Go Cubs Go, but it didn't register with me. I immediately went to football, but even in football, I don't know that many.
Yeah, I can't think.
Like Fly Eagles Fly is one.
Everybody does stand up and get crunk. Like
yeah,
everybody.
that's.
I know that we claim it, but like if you listen to every stadium around.
But it's not even like a. Baltimore does White Stripes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if that's like is it a victory? Song?
I think it's like a fight song in game.
Yeah.
I guess to get the crowd going in certain moments. Pittsburgh has one too. I forget what it is.
The reverse of this, the pregame things.
Yeah.
In all of sports, and we could separate this a little bit. The things that are done during the national anthem. So like we do "Home of the Saints."
Do we?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's home. They do "Home of the Saints."
Since when?
For a while now.
I have never noticed, and I've been to a lot of Saints games. I have never noticed the fans in that moment scream Saints instead of anything else.
At least our whole section is doing it. I don't. Maybe it's. I mean, it'd be hard for me to tell whether everybody's doing it or not if everybody around me is doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vegas does like Through the Night for the national anthem. Like every singer that does it just stops singing at that part, and the fans yell "Nights" or "Night," whatever. Things like that. How do you feel about the national anthem interruptions? Because it was when we played Edmonton, and they did the national anthem, our national anthem, and their fans got pissed off that we sang did the Nights for our national anthem.
Yeah.
So
they feel it was like disrespectful.
Yeah, but I don't understand how, because they're Canadian. Like, what do you care? This is how.
Right.
But how do you feel about this? Overrated, underrated, properly rated? Specifically, the national anthem things.
I'm gonna say overrated. They're fun, but like I don't care. And this is me. Like I just don't care. Like, but I thought of a few as you were saying. Like I remember in Baltimore, like they all scream "O" because they're the O's.
Yeah.
The baseball. Like Green Wave, they say wave instead of brave. But I don't care.
That's fair.
I don't care. I think, and it could be because, maybe I'm going on a tangent here, could be because, like, playing when I would stand during the national anthem, that was my time that I, like, zoned out. Like, I didn't even pay attention to the national anthem. So, like, now when
it's kind of like when I lock in.
Yeah, like, even now, like, before the game, I don't pay attention to the national anthem. The only national anthem I ever pay attention to is, like, before the Super Bowl, because it's some random celebrity, or, like, the All-Star game for the NBA. Like,
I don't know. Like, it is kind of what I'm, like, starting to lock in, especially at Saints games, because it's like the end of the national anthem goes to the coin toss, which goes to the real thing we're all there for.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, in the game.
So I'll say, that depends. Last year, maybe that was the most exciting part. I'll say overrated now, because it's like everybody's trying to do it's different from the next thing where it's just the pregame rituals that each teams do, because those are all unique. There's only so many things you can do with the national anthem.
Right.
So I'm going to say overrated for those. But for the pregame rituals, I'm saying underrated. Because some of the
Who Dat chant's awesome.
Yeah, the Who Dat chant
when it's rolling. Like,
yeah, they're all different. The Who Dat chant is awesome.
We kind of stopped it though. Like, well, during the end of Peyton, that's when I knew Peyton was checked out.
Did we stop?
We did. We just stopped. They stopped sending people out to do it at the end of Peyton's run. And somebody asked him about it, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't even realize it." And I was like, "Fuck, what do you mean you didn't realize it?" Like, yeah, that was actually, I'll never forget. That was the moment I was like, "Man, is this dude checked out?" And then at the end of the season, he was gone, and I was like, "Oh, this makes sense."
Yeah. Like the Chiefs do the whole stadium doing the chop. Yeah, and the chant is cool. What you got? What you think?
Like, that's all cool. If I'm specifically choosing, like, overrated, underrated, properly rated, I'll say properly rated. I'll go right in the middle with it.
It's just something about it. Like,
it's fun. It's fun. I was thinking more when you said, like, pregame stuff after that. I was thinking, like, the pregame huddles. Like, there's been some really cool pregame huddles. The Jameis, like, Deacon Jameis backing up everything that's said. The Drew Brees, like, 1-2 win for you. Like, that was cool.
Yeah.
Now, the next year it wasn't as cool. But, like, there's always some cool stuff with that.
It's all atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when the Saints are rolling, like you said, and the Who Dat chant is rolling, I'm going underrated, because that's like, it's one of the cool, like, it gets you ready.
Yeah.
Nothing gets you, because it's kickoff right after that. And especially if, like, we're on defense and you got to keep being loud, it's perfect. It rolls into it. But it is when we're losing, and it's just kind of like, all right, man, like, this game doesn't really mean anything.
Here we go again.
We're
5-7.
The
playing
Pels
the 5
thing,
and 7 Panthers.
The Pels thing with standing up until we make a bucket. I don't like that. It's overrated. Let's just sit, okay? Like, I'm not waiting for them to brick 15 threes and then we're sitting down. Like, stop.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but I don't like that OKC also does it, and they took it from us basically. That was That was a Hornets thing.
Yeah.
And then it went to OKC with the Hornets, and then when OKC got a professional basketball team, they just kept doing it.
What about the wave?
If you're doing the wave at any sporting event or concert or anything, why are you there? You're probably bored. What are you doing?
The Rangers. So I watch the Rangers games on whatever the Bally channel is that does them, and they used to do this commercial a few years ago. It was all, like, the whole thing with the commercial was, like, a group of fans, like 10 fans. They were, like, the wave breakers. And people, you're not supposed to do the wave on offense.
Right.
And their whole thing was that if it started on offense, they would sit down. Like, this was a whole, like, 2-minute commercial that they would play, like, 6 times throughout the span of a game.
Dude.
I'm like, this is ridiculous.
It's for real, though. I remember back in the day going to Saints games when the wave was very prominent because we were not good. And people, like, longtime Saints fans that I would sit with would get pissed if we did the wave on offense. They're like, "What are you doing? You're distracting the team." And I'd be like, I don't know if you're watching the game, but this is not why we're losing.
The best part about the wave is that it starts off perfect, but then the bottom is always faster because just less people. And then the people at the top are watching the people at the bottom, so then it's going around twice at the top. Nobody's ever on the same page after, like, the first go round.
It's true.
With the wave.
That's funny.
Good times, man.
Yeah, man, that brought me back the nostalgia of like the wave at old Saints games, and then like the colored hallways you would run down the ramps at the end of the game.
We used to play football on those ramps at the Tulane games because the Tulane games were so
Oh,
so bad.
Man, poor Tulane. I had season tickets to Tulane one year, and I was in the 300 section, which in my head when I got the tickets, I was like, man, yeah, these are great tickets. And there's like nobody up there with me, and I was like, oh, this is terrible.
I was gonna say there's nothing more miserable than the wave at an old Tulane game at the Dome. The Baby Cakes and the Zephyrs might be worse.
Yeah, listen, I used to work for the Baby Cakes, and there were some games where I don't know if I should say this, but we used to announce 1,000 people or 1,500 people. I could have counted on a couple of hands, more than my two hands, but I could have counted.
The only people there are the school that's sponsored for the day.
There is nobody here. What is happening?
Oh, man.
Well, it's 99 degrees. It rained all day. It's now humid as hell. And no one cares about a team that's associated with the Marlins.
Good times, man.
Also, Center Plate closed everything but one beer booth.
I will say, I had a blast at every Baby Cake Zephyrs game I ever went to.
Good.
You know, I don't know if it's just because I love baseball so much.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the thing about baseball. Like, it doesn't matter almost, the game.
Yeah.
In a way. Especially, like, minor league. Because, like, I don't care if the Baby Cakes won any kind of minor league championship.
I actually really agree. I used to love, when I first started working for the Baby Cakes, it was really a dream come true because just being able to be at the ballpark was so much fun. Yeah. You get a little bitter near the end. You know, nobody supports the team, and you feel like you're clawing and fighting to get people to just come out to this stadium, and things never really fell into place. But man, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. It was so much fun, man. Even after I left, like their last year, which was a terrible year fan wise, I used to go because I lived right across the street, and I would just go sit by myself with my dog in like the seats like out by the outfield, and just hang out for hours.
Oh yeah, my first year at work, we used to do. I think my first year I started working, so this was 5 years ago. So it had to be their last year or second to last year.
Mm-hmm.
We would rent out the work would rent out the little patio section down the first baseline, over there. They'd put a couple inflatables there for the kids, and we'd have food, and like all we had to do was tell them how many people we were bringing. And we went with my wife and my son and just went hang out. They did some giveaways, and we actually lucked into like a doubleheader because it just happened to be a day where one got pushed back.
Lucked into a doubleheader. Let me tell you, working a doubleheader was not lucky.
Well, I bet. Nowadays, working a doubleheader might not be too bad.
No, I think when it turned into like 2 7-inning games, I was like, okay, this isn't too bad.
Yeah,
like
that's what happened.
We'll get through it. Like,
good times, man. Shout out to the Shrine.
I miss it, man. It was good. It was always good times. I almost went off on a tangent there, and you brought me back to like the fun times instead of me just shitting on Center Plate for an hour.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Thank you.